Welcome. I'm about to tell you a little bit about the forthcoming trauma informed course that we're running. And I'm seeing quite a lot of practitioners starting to realize that it's really important to understand trauma in this day and age. And yeah, what I want to say is if you want to work with trauma, it's really important that you do go and get some proper qualifications. But what we're doing is looking at the situation that we've got right now, which is a lot of traumatized people. COVID, for example, was quite a traumatic time for a lot of people. And most people have something in their past, it's quite karmic, that is defining itself as trauma. And they may or may not be aware of it, but it seems like it's coming to a crescendo, which is a good thing. So I'm finding that a lot more ethical, humble practitioners are realizing they need to look at this. A lot of practitioners who are new on their path or who've gone through an awakening or who are very new age often don't think that this is glamorous enough or multidimensional enough, but I really cannot emphasize enough how important it is to understand trauma to some degree. So our training is based on a training we put together last year, which was an introduction to many different trauma healing modalities that look from different vantage points. A lot of them were quite psychotherapeutic, but there were some body-based modalities in there. And we also looked from a tantric perspective, utilizing practices from Kalachakra Tantra and looked at how they align with some evidence-based psychotherapies that work with trauma in this current time. And it was really nice personally for me, having studied trauma and worked with trauma to some degree, especially my own in the earlier days. I incorporate quite a lot of trauma theory in my doctorate, which I handed in 2003. And since then, I've worked with several modalities, psychotherapeutic modalities, and I'm trauma informed, but I still have limitations. There are so many different approaches to trauma that I don't think there's any one practitioner who's trained in them all. Okay, um, and what we're trying to do with this course is to really assist, especially the practitioners who are trauma specialists who every day work with traumatized people, because I think that we have to make a very big statement about the need for people not to be gung ho with trying to work with clients with very complex trauma and things like that, and how to spot it. Okay, but yeah, there are a lot of amazing practitioners out there, but a lot of them have very long waiting lists because of what's happening. So the course that we've devised has these insights about a lot of the modalities and how they work. And this is pre-recorded from last year. And what I found was last year's intake, we're receiving a lot of information, and uh, a lot of them were quite new to working with trauma. And this year we have quite a lot of practitioners who've already got some grounding with the concept of trauma. And so we're going a stage further where we're going to be providing real-time tutorials where it's like a little university where we're looking at the spaces in between the modalities, and I'll be helping you to put together, once you've listened to the different presentations about the different modalities, how you might be able to, from a multi-dimensional perspective, meaning you might be looking at ancestors, or you might be looking at their body, you might be looking at how the trauma manifests. So is the person hypervigilant, hypovigilant, or hypervigilant, things like this. And we're going to help you to map trauma better. Last year we did an amazing session where we really interacted with the students and mapped trauma multidimensionally, and it was absolutely amazing. And I think that helped people to harness just how comprehensive trauma is on many levels for us. Then we're going to be helping people to understand what sort of referral to give in a certain situation, and how also to spot trauma. And then we will also have a session where we're just putting things together. So, and we will also be looking at very basic level tools that may incorporate some of the concepts that are fundamental principles in some of the evidence based or existing trauma therapies that are very popular without having to say, I am an IFS practitioner, but how you can safely do a few things with a client while they may be waiting for a more serious referral. And hopefully, by doing this, we're going to A, help you to retain your client for a little while, and B, give them some space to help them to start to know thyself and to get some remedy for what's going on for them before they get a bigger referral and how to go about those referrals. Okay, so I have to make a big disclaimer to say this is not going to mean you are a psychotherapist. This is not going to mean that you're setting up your own practice and saying you are a certified X, Y, or Z. But you will safely be able to express yourself as trauma informed and how to look at things and not to feel out of your depth with knowing that there's someone more experienced than you who can pick this up and how you can help everybody in the process. And as I say, how to also serve your client. And by doing this, I think we're going to really help a lot of people feel held and for you to actually understand some of the principles that govern our psyche, that govern the consciousness of everything, not just humans. And I will probably be giving quite a lot of little extra magic signposting videos, which I have created over the years with very useful tools to help people overcome overwhelm. So we've got lots of extra goodies, and then at least about 4 real-time sessions, which are which I really encourage you to come to, which are where you're going to get that aha moment where you feel like, trauma's presenting and I feel like I know how to deal with this person enough to get them where they need to go. Okay, this is the big problem in the world. Think of all these people on the streets, all these people in different institutions, because at the right moment they slip through the net. Okay, and in order for us to reach a more compassionate, higher way of being, it's so important that we do our little bit. Okay, so this is going to help you do your little bit, and not only can, if you are a practitioner, can you apply this when you spot something with it with your client or when somebody comes to you for something, but also you'll be able to spot it in yourself and around others, and to really know how things work. Okay, so we really want you to come in with deep curiosity, a real desire to look laterally at this and to understand that we're going to really go into a deep weaving. I'm really grateful that last year was almost like a brain dump of lots of things that myself and the other practitioners who provided teachings had. Now I think I'm in the place that I like to be. I'm a weaver, okay? I put things together, I see how things connect, and this is what I want to share with you now with this course and to take you in really, wow, how would I say deeper? Last time they were receiving teachings, this time I want you to embody and dance with them. So if you're feeling your body, um, how would I say, sparking up with this, please do get in touch with Dharma Star so we can sign you up. The course is beginning the second half of January with the recorded materials, and then I can't remember the exact dates right now, but early February we'll start the tutorials, and we're going to take those on into April. Okay, so it's going to be, and you've got. We will have an online forum as well, so there's plenty of opportunity to interact. And yeah, we would love for you to do this. What we can also do, what I want to say is we do have accreditation possibilities, but you do have to be able to turn up for more supervisions and tutorials, pay for the accreditation. And what I would say is do the course, but if you want accreditation will actually be £222, okay, on top of the course fees, because when I've done accredited courses, I've really realized how much time it is, making sure everything's right, working with the accrediting body, the extra supervision that's needed, the stating the requirements, and hosting the sessions where findings and assessment material is presented. Okay, so you're very welcome. If there's a few people who request, if there's more than 3 people request accreditation, we will make this accredited. Okay, Take care, and yeah, and we'll probably run it again. But it's really good to think of this year being the year. I'll tell you why. I'm going to be doing a transmission really soon about this, but the astrology, if you put it together, it's not going to come up in the same way for another 4 years. Up till July, in the dream spell calendar, we're in um, self-existing moon energy, which is a lot about self-remembrance, but making a stable container for it. And so I really see why we're grounding this now. And in the traditional Mayan calendar, it's an 11 year from the beginning of February. And that's very much, there's a lot of releasing and wandering through different things, picking up information to find the path. And some of that is about letting go of stuff that wasn't great. Okay. And I could go into a very deep reading about both of those. That's very, very general description. So, I will be doing a lot of different offerings over the years. I may not be running courses every year just because of the amount of teaching time I have. So try, if you're feeling it, this is probably the year. Okay. So take care. I hope to speak to you soon. Ciao, ciao.